If I asked you who your favorite comedian is, who do you think of? A lot of people would probably answer Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart, known to fill up entire venues. A few people might say a late night host like Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Fallon, which would make me not trust them. Older people might say one of the classics like George Carlin or Drew Carey. Young people might say a podcaster like Sam Morrill or Mark Normand. However, I think my favorite comedian would have to be Bo Burnham, not just because he's funny, but because he's authentic.
Welcome to the show, this is Bo, this is his show. The dance like this. Welcome to the show, this is Bo, this is his show. And Bo takes off his pants like this.
I want to make a quick note of what I mean by authentic. Any comedian can tell a good story, an authentic story, whether it's true
He thought we were gonna kill him.
or not.
You know my favorite bit of that story? I just made it up.
But at the end of the day, all stories told on stage tend to be exaggerated for the sake of comedy. Bo Burnham doesn't always tell a story or even a joke just for the sake of comedy, but also to show a piece of his inner thoughts.
I want you to somehow survive a terrible car crash, then somehow not survive a small fender bender on the way back from the hospital. Thank you, that's called Dad.
Bo Burnham's shows are authentic because he makes himself vulnerable to us, the audience, and the judgment we may cast on him. You'd probably be surprised if you saw Bo act differently in real life as compared to his onstage performance. He even makes a note of this in the finale of What?
I once heard that you actually act quiet because you're shy and introverted in real life, and that people shouldn't expect you to act the same way off stage as you do on stage. Yeah, that makes no sense.
Unlike so many other comedians, when Bo tells an exaggerated story, you can also be sure that by the end of it, he'll have dropped a little piece of himself in there. His second major comedy special, What?, performed and released in 2013, is no different. What contains 8 songs, as well as many little musical bits, poems, and stories thrown in to create a unique style that no other comedian has ever adopted. His act begins with his opening song, which includes some lines that blatantly lie out his problems with the comedy industry as well as some of his own insecurities. His next song, Sad, is a piece of satire about using laughter to help get over sad things. What Did I Do Last Night is an under-a-minute song about how he lives up to the Hollywood stereotype.
I cried myself to sleep.
In Left Brain, Right Brain, his logic and his creativity argue with each other.
You're a pussy. Name calling? Really? We're gonna do name calling? I'm not calling names. Right?
Hashtag Deep is a satirical take on having character and being deep.
If Jesus can walk on water, can he swim on land?
Bo tells his audience that none of them are going to heaven from God's perspective. Repeat Stuff is a joke about love songs and uncreative artists who sell out for profit. His final song is We Think We Know You, possibly one of the best songs he's ever written, that also falls into the finale theme with all the other songs he sings at the end of each one of his specials. These songs are designed to make us laugh, but also to again show us a glimpse into Bo's mind and allow us to see the world from his point of view, as well as the problems and insecurities he faces. He also writes these songs in rebellion to the mainstream media, which he refuses to sell out to. He mocks agents and regulations and wants to be free to write and create his own material however he wants, just like he used to when it was just him, a camcorder, and a piano.
Take it as it is, digest it, soak it in, then use it as you will. Okay, see you again.
Bo's perspective on comedy and art holds some serious weight. In today's day and age, comedy and art have become so corporatized and repetitive that his sellout for Satan joke in Repeat Stuff is as true as it is funny.
Oh, girl, oh, hello, Satan. Oh, Satan, you taste so good. Repeat
Now,
stuff.
I couldn't tell you my expansive knowledge about Bruce Jingles and his comedy career as he's such a small name, but I also couldn't tell you even one of the last 20 songs Taylor Swift has released, due to her style of music becoming repetitive and uninteresting. By contrast to both of these examples, Bo Burnham's mindset and creativity allows him to ride this sweet middle line between indie budgets and massive success. His success never dwindles his art. He takes a little guy approach to his act every time, never overstimulating his name or stepping too far for monetary incentive. You can always count on Bo's act on stage to be a reflection of himself, always an authentic performance.
Mr. Burnham.